Hi guys, and welcome back to this Model Engineers workshop. Today in the workshop, we've got the cylinders done, the steam chests done, and now we've got to get the lids on. So that means we're making the steam chest covers today. Come on, let's take a look. Hi guys, I'm the chef. Today we're making the covers for the steam chests themselves on this loco, on the Wombat. So remember these? We cut two of these off the blocks when we made the cylinders, so I could use these for other things. Well, this is where they come into use. So I've got the other one of these already in the vise on the mill. We've got to square them up, just like we did with the cylinders. We're going to flatten the surfaces off, flip them over, keeping one registration face on each side, of course. We're going to trim a bit off and then get them down to size, which is 90 by 75. All right, by 6.5 thick before I forget, by 6.5. All right, guys, let's get off to the mill. Right, so here we are set up in the vise on the mill. Got the first slab in. As you can see, this one's my power hacksaw doesn't cut straight. I've got to work out what I can do to sort that one out. This is quite a difference. This is like 7mm thick here and 11mm there. So over a distance of 95, it's slipped 4mm. Right, so you've seen this before. I'm going to take one cut off just to show you what I'm doing. Parallels are locked in tight. This has been tapped down with the good old rubber mallet, which I'll get out of the way. There we go. And so it's going to be touch off, take a cut, touch off, take a cut, get it all nice and even, get it down to 6.5. So we'll be doing this side down to 6.5. Then I'm going to just clean up that edge. Then we'll rotate it, do the other side, do the other edge. That then gives us 4. We then need to whip a bit off so that we're not just going to mill it all this away. It's got like 20 odd mil to come off here, 18, 20 mil. And then we're going to be doing the last 2 edges. But I'll just do this first one, guys, just so you know what I'm doing. You pretty much know what I'm doing anyway, so you've seen this before. It's going to get noisy, sorry about this. Here goes. Touch off first once I get into place. There's touch off. Just move away. Set that at 0. There we go. Set the dial to 0 so we know what we're doing. Keep track of things. Put on a light cut. Not really holding on to too much of this, probably about 3mm, 3.5. So I'm not going to take very big heavy cuts. Here goes. There we go, you can see how out of square this cut is, so I'll just put on another light cut. Still cutting. And that's finished. Just have to move across a little bit now because it does. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of an edge there. So just keep it all nice and even so we don't make any great big god-awful cuts unexpectedly and bring this piece out of the vise. Last thing I need. That should see it. There we go. All right, guys, you know what I'm doing. I'll bring you back. Oops, just knocked the camera. Sorry about that. I'll bring you back when I get this face cleaned off. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, guys, so that's the top surface cleaned off. Come up nice. As much as there's a few, you can see the lines in it. You can't feel them. So now got this hanging out the vise sufficiently enough. So, and the parallels are back far enough, of course, so we don't strike those. We're just going to clean this edge off. That'll take very little time. I'll show you one. You've seen this before, so I won't mess about too long with this. Just going to touch off, kind of just raise this up. Let's have a think. Let's go 0.5 mil. That'll be all right. That's 0.5 mil. Going to get noisy. I'm going to touch off and just go move the work towards myself. Cutter that goes that way, and show you one cut. Here goes. first touch off. Clear it. Put a cut on. There we go. And crank this one by hand. No power feed on this axis of the mill. Nice and easy. Looks like it could use a little bit more. Clear the work. Put on another cut. Like that. And round it back through. That should do it. And you can see the cut just showing up there. Alright guys, I'll get this finished, we'll flip it over and we'll get the other side and the other end done. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay guys, so got that edge machined off now. Put a little mark on it, so this reminds me that this is going to be my second reference face. First one here, second one here. So we're just going to loosen off the vise. There we go. I'll just pop that bit out, have a bit of a clean up. There we go. Make sure the top of the parallels are clean, so that when we go back in, we're going to be on the parallels, nice and tidy. Now, so leave that bit of there. Right, so what we're going to do, you're going to focus or what? Come on. There we go. So we're just going to flip, not going to rotate, we're going to flip. So we stay with our original reference face up against the fixed jaw. Drop in a piece of soft wire, which takes up any irregularities. Make sure we're resting on the parallels. Now this time I'm going to make sure that this is sticking out enough and not dragging the parallels with it. Don't want to hurt those. Because of course we've got this edge clean now. We're now going to get this down to 90. So we were at 95, give or take. Going to make sure we've got enough sticking out so that we can now bring this first dimension down to 90. So that should be fine. Just going to make sure with the rubber mallet that we're down and tight on the parallels. Yep, they're not moving. Tighten it up a bit more. Yep, that one's lifted slightly. Tap it down. Keep going, doing this 2 or 3 times until we're happy with everything. That the parallels are down tight. There we go. One more little crank down. There we go. That's in place now and ready to go. So, usual thing as before, I'm going to touch off, clean this down, check the thickness once I get a little bit of a better surface than the manufactured one to work on. And when I get that done, I'll bring you back and then we'll have edge number 4 to do. All right, guys, back in a minute. Right, guys, so got the first dimension done now. We're down to 6.5 thick. So now it's just going to be the usual, just take off a little bit off of this edge, and then we have all 4. Oh, yeah, then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 edges done. And then I'm going to spin this around, put the second reference face up here, clean off number 5, which is the one that's the reference face at the moment. And then we'll get that down clean, and then we spin it around again. And I'm just thinking about this as I'm talking to you, and then we'll get it down to, because this is over 100 long, 105 I think it is, 95. I'm just trying to think if I can save a bit. I think I probably can. Yeah, so get this cleaned up, and do I need to actually? I think what I need to do at the moment is, I've got 3, that's the reference face. Yeah, I'm going to mark this out to 75, put a scratch on it, and hacksaw a bit off, and then we'll get that cleaned up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll mark it at 75, hacksaw a chunk off, and then put it back in the vise. Right, give me a second, guys. Okay guys, so there we are, just hacksaw the chunk off as you saw. Not desperately straight, but it doesn't have to be at the minute. I'm still on the right side of my little scratch line, so that's good. I haven't made nothing that won't clean up properly. All right, so same again, come over this side, take the cutter that way, material towards me, get that down to 75mm. All right, you've seen that. I'll bring you back in a tick, guys. Give us a second. Righto, guys, so that's 4 surfaces done now, so top, bottom, this edge, this edge. We've got 2 dimensions done. We've got the thickness at 6.5. We've got the width at 75. Just going to whip this out, the vise, deburr it, so take a little bit of the burr off. We're then going to rotate it this way to put our secondary reference face up against the fixed jaw. Clean up that surface, just to clean up. Then we're going to, again, flip it that way. So flipping this way, keeping our second reference face against the fixed jaw of the vise, and then we'll take away what you can see here, this surface here, my fingertip, and get that down to our last dimension of 90mm. Right guys, I won't show you that, you know what I'm doing. I'll see you back on the bench, and by that time I'll have this one done and the second. That will give me something to do for the next half an hour or so. All right, I'll see you when I get both of them to size, shape, thickness, everything. All right guys, see you back at the bench in a bit. Righto guys, there we go. So 2 blanks, all set and ready for the next operation. Let me zoom if I can. Yep, there we go. So they're now 90 by 75, both of them by 6.5 thick. Yep, nice and all equal. These are the 2 bits that I've cut off. They'll be useful somewhere down the track, and I'll go in the scrap pile. Get rid of those. Right, so now each one of these now has 11 holes drilled in it. 10 at 5.5, which go around the outsides to actually bolt these down, or part of the bolting down. And 1 slap bang in the middle, which has got to be 1/8 BSP. Wonderful. For the snifting valve. If you don't know what a snifting valve is, don't worry about it. I'll explain it when I get to making those. I've got to make 2 of them anyway. Right, so let me work out some dimensions, and we'll get the milling machine cleaned up a bit, get the drills going. So it'll be center drill 5.5, bing, ding, 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 10 times in each, and then I'll have to find out what size I need to drill in the middle for the 8th BSP. What's the tapping size for that? But I'll look that one up. There's charts all over the place. If not, a quick search on the internet will soon tell me. All right, guys, let me get set up in the mill and get the mill cleaned down, and then get set up and a drawing made, and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, so cleaned down the machine, got one of these pieces in for the steam chest covers, got my usual kind of rulers in, as such as I'm not using them as parallels, they're just supports. They're close enough to the same height as each other, just that I don't want to drill down these sides and strike one of my real parallels, because of course they're hardened and ground, and strike one of those with a drill, it'll knacker the drill, knacker the parallel, probably even knacker this part. So got the trusty little drawing to hand. I've re-zeroed the vise. So as usual, that corner there is 0 in both directions. Come in the required amount. So, yep, trusty little drawing to hand. So I've got it all worked out, hopefully, and I've got it right. Don't want to make too many of these. Right, so here we go. We're going to center drill, 5.5mm drill, just a light countersunk on this side, just to get rid of any sharp edges. And then there's another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to do. All right, guys, here goes. Gonna get noisy as always. Change to the 5.5mm drill. Need to lower the table down a bit. There we go. Probably need to go down a bit more actually. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, need to go down a bit more. This is a brand new 5.5mm drill, so it should cut nicely in the cast iron. Right, here we go. There we go. Let's get that out of there, and then we'll let the counter sink in. As I say, I'm just going to do this just to break that edge, just to keep things clean and tidy. And when I've done all 10, or rather all 11, because I've got the big hole in the middle, I'll flip it over, and on the drill press I will countersink the other side as well, just to tidy up. Here goes. Wrong button. There we are, that's better. You'll be able to hear me now. Right. 9 more to go. Alright guys, I'll bring it back when I've got them done. Righto guys, so as you can see, 10 holes drilled, 5.5, so centre drill 5.5mm, countersunk just to take the edges off. Just to reset everything according to the DRO to exactly the halves, both directions, so we're going to be drilling in the middle. Now that hole has to be 1/8 BSP, and if I have a look through my very old Zeus charts, let's get you in a bit closer. You can see British Standard pipe threads, tapping drills 8. Well, there it says 8.75. Well, I don't think anybody makes an 8.75, not in my price range anyway. But that's the recommended. The alternate is 11/32. Now, if you look at that, that is going to be what, 7, not even 1.5 thousandths smaller. By the look of things, not even that really. Yeah, about 1.5, maybe just over. Thousandth of an inch slightly smaller than that. So luckily, I have a drill index with imperial drills going in 64ths up to in 64ths going up to 3/8. I don't know if you can quite see that. I know I can. You can see 32 anyway. But this is an 11/32, so we're going to do the same again. Centre drill 5.5, and then I'll put the 11/32 through. I'm not going to go straight through with it because no drill really ever drills exact size if you go straight through. So let's get this one done, and then unfortunately I'm stuck. I'm waiting on the 1/8 BSP tap and die set to arrive. But I'll just get this hole drilled and show you both of them together, and then call this video closed, and I'll put the tap through when it gets here. All right, here we go. Last hole in this piece. Just going to break the corner, nothing serious. There we go. That's all it took for that. Right, a bit quieter now. Okay, I'll get the second one done, and I'll see you back at the bench, guys. All right. Give us a few minutes. Okay, guys, so there we go. 2 steam chest covers, drilled, countersunk, everything both sides, all done. Just got to get those tapped when my 1/8 BSP tap arrives. That's coming through the post. Should be here in about a week, but I'll get them done off camera. You don't need to see me doing those. Let's have a quick play. It's always good fun. Using the DRO, of course. Yep. There we go. Well, yep. And I guess you can see all those holes line up. Perfect. Right. Okay, guys. Give us a tick. Alrighty, guys. That brings this video to a close. 2 more bits done. Nice and clean and tidy. All the holes drilled in. As I say, just got to put the thread in the middle hole when the tap gets here. Alright, guys. This is the chef saying, as I normally do, if you can find it in your heart and soul to give me a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. It's the likes actually that are more important. That will put this video in front of other like-minded people. Again, if you're a watcher, please consider subscribing. It's the motivation I need. I get a great deal of it from you guys, and it just gets me back out here, even if it is 31 degrees today here in the workshop. That's Celsius. What's that going to be? About 100 Fahrenheit, I suppose. All right, guys, this is the chef saying, see you later. Righto, guys, little addition to the end of this video. Sorry for being handheld. As you can see, the thread's now in that center hole in both, where is it? There it is. In both valve chest covers. Tap arrived, so I've got the holes, they've got the thread straight in, nice and clean. So the 2 cylinder blocks, like we left off at the end of the last video, now have, there you go, the valve chest covers. Nuts and washers to finish. A couple of gaskets, of course, one in here where my thumb is and the other one in there. Same over here on these ones. Gaskets for making them steam tight. All right, guys, once again, this is the chef saying, see you later.